Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran and I help people using a spiritual perspective. Today we're going to be talking about our crushes. And I don't mean the soda, I mean the feelings that we have, the developing feelings that we have for other people and little crushes that we get, right? We're going to try to talk about not idealizing them. Now in scientific, or I shouldn't say scientific, but psychological terms, psychology, it's called limerence, which is essentially becoming obsessed with our crushes. But the focus of this video is really about understanding that every one of our crushes or the people that we become infatuated with or that we put on a pedestal, they all take shits in the toilet. Everybody poops, everybody throws up, everybody has imperfections, right? And there is a there's a huge sort of weird cult-like positive thing going on right now within spirituality that I've, harped on about quite a bit. So I'm going to keep on pressing that button. But what's happening these days is this overwhelming positive attitude towards our feelings. We are trying to take spirituality and turn it into Candyland. And an unfortunate side effect of that is taking things that really don't necessarily have anything to do with spirituality, such as having a crush on someone, and making it into a connection, a label, an importance. And we look at all these pick-a-card readings and how they feel about me, what my crush wants to say, what my crush is feeling, who's my crush, okay, and so on and so on. And you've got coaches and tarot readers more than willing to charge you X amount of money to tell you exactly what you already want to hear. So that is such a dangerous precedent to set, because the people that you have a crush on in life, it's not that big of a deal. You don't know them. You don't know what they're at. You don't know where they're at. And you don't know what their belief systems are. You don't know what their opinions are. You don't know what their imperfections, their strengths, their weaknesses. You don't know anything about them. And so when we develop these crushes on people, these infatuations, and again, in psychology, this is sort of called limerence, right? When we start to imagine that these men or women are above us or some image of perfection, we're obviously hurting ourselves. We are taking our own sort of worth and what we could possibly bring to the table and substituting that for an idealization of somebody else, right? So we take ourselves down a peg almost in order for ourselves to actually give the infatuation away. Right? Because if we were thinking about it consciously and we're on the same level as somebody else, then you can't really ever become infatuated with them. You can't really develop those same feelings of infatuation that we confuse for spiritualism, or we confuse for excitement and passion and romance. But what's really going on is we are simply taking a step back, putting ourselves down just in order to give ourselves that feeling of excitement. And that's kind of sick, but we do it. We do it to ourselves. I've done it to myself, and it's something that comes out of childhood. Parents that didn't pay attention to you enough, or didn't show you the right amount of love or the right type of support as you were growing up into the childhood years, when you really needed people to make you feel like you were loved, like you were okay as you are. And so we have this idea in that love should be this super exciting, wonderful, like beautiful landscape. We think it's like heaven. We think love should be this amazing carnival ride where we're constantly filled with excitement. And I think it's really prevalent among people my age group, but especially younger, who believe that love is supposed to be in a constant set of excitement every day. Everything must be a super high. And we live our lives like that anyway. We think that that's what spirituality is really all about, is getting to a place where life is amazing every day, rather than trying to come to terms with that life can be appreciated every day, but that sometimes it may feel a bit heavy, and that all we can really do is lean into that. And the same thing is true of our crushes, or the men and women in our lives that we develop feelings for. And you could look at this non-romantically, of course. There's plenty of times that people will take potential friendships and sort of jump the gun on those before they're really certain about what kind of people they are, right? And we do this just because we want to feel a connection, because we want to feel connected to new people, or we want to feel connected to something, right? Because maybe there's something in our life that's lacking a little bit for ourselves. We don't maybe feel a connection to spirit, to source, to whatever you want to call it. We don't feel a strong desire or pull to maybe get up out of the bed in the morning, and so we use another person to try and give us that pull, right? And again, it's not something that we can do without actually putting ourselves down first, even subconsciously or unconsciously. We have to put ourselves on a different level in order to really look at somebody in this awesome positive light. There has to be a little bit of that going on. Even if it's just a little bit, it has to be going on. And again, it would sort of behoove us to keep in mind that everybody poops. Everybody is going home after Panda Express and having massive diarrhea. And I know that that's sick. I'm sorry if you're eating Panda Express right now at this moment while watching this video. One, obviously, because you're probably going to end up shitting your pants. But two, because it's obviously gross, right? Who wants to talk about shit? I don't necessarily. But the idea here, guys, is that everybody has these images of themselves that same thing is happening to us. And no, you know, I'm not ever like in the bathroom doing things, whatever they are, and think to myself, man, I'm a real handsome guy right now. None of that stuff happens. There's no feeling that like every moment of my life I'm doing things romantically and perfectly and amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like every moment of my life is some glorified, beautiful image where I'm constantly, you know, in some romanticized picture. You know what I mean? And that's how the mind likes to play tricks on us. We like to think that this is that the people that we like, that we have feelings for, that they're having some kind of fantasy life, that something's going on with them that is completely beautiful, and everything they do. And I'm sure that there are things that some things they do that are great. The way that they, I don't know, fold towels. I'm sure that's amazing and really hot and just gets you going. But the truth is that everybody has issues and problems and things that they hide, and masks that we show the world. Different versions of ourselves that become more available for everybody to see, you know, as we get older, as we mature, but also on the type of relationship that we have with people, right? How close we feel with somebody. Obviously, I'm more willing to show somebody that I know personally the different sides of myself than I am willing to with strangers on YouTube. And that's not because I'm not willing to do it. It's because it causes issues. It's because I don't have to. It's because I don't feel like it. You know, there's lots of different reasons. But the point is that I don't need to do anything that doesn't feel comfortable with people that I don't necessarily know. And yet, with a lot of romantic interests, we are willing to completely throw ourselves in. Completely allow our masks to fall, eliminate mystery, to not take things slow, to throw ourselves into an infatuation. And I do believe that a lot of spirituality, New Age spirituality, doesn't overtly hinder our chances of having healthy relationships, but I do believe that there is a lot of sort of manipulation or toxic ideas that really sort of influence, right? That's probably a good word for it, influence our attitudes towards love. And whether or not it's just treating a crush that you barely know as a twin flame or a soulmate, which is obviously extremely dangerous for obvious reasons, but it could also just be giving us a false sense of hope or positivity towards different connections, when really they might be new. They might not have developed that long, right? And if there's one thing that I've learned in my life through love specifically, it's that as time goes on with the same person, the feelings that you once had don't continue in the same way, right? Now, that already sounds pretty horrible, so let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean is that when you first meet somebody, you're very excited and everything's new. Over time, what happens is that the more you get to know somebody, the more that you realize about them, about yourself, about life, about the connection. Now, if it's a good, healthy connection, if it's strong, if there's real groundedness between you two, then the relationship can continue and new feelings and new revelations will come. And things like, rather than realizing that every day must be an excited roller coaster, you start to realize within a healthy relationship that really what the best thing for you, for love, for a relationship to stay healthy and grounded is so that every day isn't like that. You don't want every day to be a roller coaster. You don't want that. You don't want an extreme high every day. You want a mellow type of peace, a reliable groundedness, because that's actually more, it's better exemplifies a sense of love, a sense of connection, a sense of worth, a sense of trust, rather than having something that consistently just skyrockets every day where you're just blasting off like Team Rocket from Pokemon. I hope that reference reaches some of you because am I the only one who's ever watched Pokemon? Anyway, so really taking a step back before we start investing ourselves into love connections, regardless of what tarot reading you may have watched or how explosive your feelings are. If enough time passes, you'll discover things about people. And one of the things that you might discover is that, yeah, that hot girl at the bar, she also has diarrhea. Or that hot guy at the auto shop, wherever you get your car fixed, that guy also, has just thrown up from drinking too much the night before. Okay, there are lots of instances in which the partner, the idealization that we're giving to these potential people, these crushes of ours, these infatuations, that they're unnecessary because, again, so many people are just regular, normal-ass people. Most of us are just regular people. And we all do the same thing. We all shit. We all go to the bathroom. None of us are perfect. So try to take a step back from throwing yourself in for whoever needs to hear this. Maybe you're already like that a little bit, and just keeping in mind that by giving all of your energy away, by having all of these expectations towards certain individuals and certain people, 9 out of 10 times what's really happening is you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to be disappointed, because inevitably what will happen, especially to the spiritual or awakened individual, is you will see the person for exactly what they are, and that will just be another flawed human. And that's totally okay. The issue or the achievement, what we're trying to achieve here is not finding the perfect individual. That's not what we're trying to do in love. We're not trying to find the most amazing human ever. We're trying to find somebody who is real, who is legitimate, who is absolutely the best version for your life. But you're not looking for somebody perfect. You're looking for somebody flawed. You're looking for somebody that makes mistakes because you're not perfect. Why would you think that a relationship with a perfect person while you're imperfect would ever work? It would never work. You would constantly be feeling guilty. Constantly feel like you have to prove yourself, you're unworthy, things of that nature. No. Everybody's imperfect, and that's perfect. It's exactly how it's supposed to be.